Here we are in January 2025. Many of you may be celebrating your successful accomplishments of 2024, while many of you are probably trying to make 2025 not turn out like the unsuccessful year you had in 2024. This video is going to answer one of the most frequent questions I get. I made it bold and clear in the title, which is why I am guessing all of you are here interested in finding out the answer. And so I just thought starting the year with a helpful guide on how to make the best out of 2025, make thousands of dollars, and perhaps change your developing career as a whole. Now this video works for any developing field on Roblox. It isn't really limited to modeling, even though modeling tutorials is mainly what I do on this channel. But this method only works on Roblox due to how the platform works and the organizations it's partnered with. I tried keeping it brief and simple, so we'll be going ahead and discussing a total of 5 key factors which will completely change your commission game in 2025. Firstly, it just starts with being good at what you do. Doesn't matter if you're a modeler, an animator, an artist. I just find that many developers spend a couple days modeling or animating, then immediately try to look for work to make money. And it doesn't really work like that. It gets really demotivating because you don't find work, because no one wants your garbage looking work. And it just becomes harder in the future because everyone just remembers your old garbage looking work. So a good way to measure the average standard of what you're trying to do would be to look at the current games on Roblox, compare your models to theirs, and if you can recreate any of their assets on that quality or even better, then that's good enough for you to get some commissions. Obviously, this does depend on your style of work. The quality standard on some of these games are extremely low, making it easy to fit in. And again, this goes for art, UI, modeling, animation, thumbnail work, coding, logo creation, and every other developing field that exists. Now that you're capable of doing the work, you have to somehow show to the world that you actually exist as a developer. You can't just know how to use Blender then expect people to know that you are good at using Blender all of a sudden, right? And this is where point number 2 comes in, having a good portfolio. Portfolios are usually just a collection of some work pieces which you would use to sort of represent what you do as a developer. It could have a short description about yourself, and I most definitely recommend having your prices and rates listed on the portfolio page as a Roblox developer. I know there's a lot of questions about pricing as well, but we'll come back to that a bit later, or maybe towards the end of the video. But when it comes to your portfolio, make sure your pictures are actually high quality and representative. There are so many portfolios out there that just have random zoomed out screenshots in Blender that don't look attractive at all. Then it comes to different websites you could use. There's actually quite a few. I personally prefer Card and ArtStation, but you most commonly find Discord portfolios on Roblox, and that's what I would recommend using as well. Cool thing about these websites is that you can directly link them to your Discord profile, so anytime you chat somewhere or someone checks out your profile, their eyes fall directly on your About Me and your work profession. After creating a portfolio and making a visual showcase of your work for others to see, you have to somehow now get people to actually see it. There are multiple Discord servers out there that offer channels for you to post your portfolios in. However, I've noticed something when you guys do this, and I'll show you exactly what I mean using my own server as an example. So here we are, Pyro's portfolio. We got about 4K members. Make sure you guys join W server. But right over here, I have a portfolios channel for people to sort of advertise their own portfolio, right? But the issue you run into is if you actually just look in here, and if you just scroll, all you see is just Discord server links, right? I'll come back to this in a second, but like all you see here is just random Discord server links, and this is what we call competition, right? You got a server up here, someone else got a server up in here. What's making the viewer join yours instead of this person's? So this is where advertising really comes in, and this is part of point 3. When you post your work, you want to really make your work stick out from other people so that your work looks more attractive and more interesting, which is why I was talking about these pictures. When you post a picture and then your Discord, make sure you guys post an infinite link Discord so it doesn't just like expire. When you got extra pictures, then people know exactly what to expect when they are joining your server. Another thing is some people over here are actually like animators and GFX artists, so like you don't really know at all what you are expecting when you join a Discord server. And I personally don't like joining random Discord servers. I don't think people really like joining random Discord servers, right? So post like a brief explanation and just an introduction of what you do and what you're expecting people to see in your server. This one's really nice, and this one over here, even though the models don't look so great, but these are actually some really nice gun models. But even though when you put them on a picture like this, it just looks a lot more attractive. and we can like keep scrolling. I think there was one other picture I've seen over here. Like stuff like websites like this usually do embed links so you can see something more interesting. But even on your portfolio page, try to keep your more interesting pieces of work above or like on top of your other work, just so the person doesn't just click off. They see what you're good at. Then we got this one right over here, Tweaks, absolute W modeler. He's got some of the best creature models on Roblox, and his link expired. We're just gonna grow into that. But like when you post pictures like this, it actually catches your eye when you're scrolling over here. VFX artist, got a nice clean joinable portfolio, got videos to go ahead and check his work, and this actually just makes you feel interested to join the server, check out their prices, see their availability, and go ahead and hire them. But when you got like random servers like this, then yeah, you got all this competition to go with, and chances of someone joining your server through this is extremely low. And here's just a quick example which I posted in one of the servers. I usually just have this layout copied and I paste it in whatever server that has a channel to post your portfolio in. It's a really quick short description of my job. Small little pricing over here just gives you the rough estimate of what you'll be expecting. If you have any contributions to games, popular games, you go ahead and throw that on too. It just gives you more aura. And you can go ahead and link in all your links that the server allows you. Some servers like Cat and Devs will just completely ban you if you post your Discord servers. Just be careful with the rules that servers have, and just keep it really short and informative, and just link everything that needs to be linked and copy paste that in like any server you want to be in. Moving on to point 3, we're already sort of talking about it, advertising on Discord, but advertising in general and just gaining more exposure. It isn't really limited to Discord. One of the largest platforms used for this is actually Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. You simply post the final result of your work directly to the public where people can see. Doesn't really have to be final. Some people post a lot of work in progresses too, and that's fine as well. Multiple Discord servers actually have showcase channels where you can go ahead and advertise your work, so you can take that Twitter link and plug it in that channel. This is extremely useful to gain some small exposure and even land you a couple commissions. Majority of these Discord servers also have job offers from others. I don't recommend taking these too seriously, but you do get some really nice commissions from time to time. Just be careful with how you deal with them, since a handful are prone to scamming. A quick bonus tip I'm just going to throw in there because I forgot to mention this is Modelers HQ. This one is only for modelers. Other developing field people, you're gonna have to look for some other server. But I have made Modelers HQ to sort of build a connection between modelers and clients. We get connections up here from some really good high paying commissions, real commissions from actual game studios and clients, and then we assign the best modeler for the job. So this server is also available for modelers out there that are looking for commissions. We have our work posted up here in portfolio, so if your work matches this sort of style or this level of quality, then feel free to join the server, apply in the application over here, and I will run a check through it and roll you to join the server. But just over a few months of opening the server, we have contributed to billions of visits and worked for over 20,000 USD worth of commission work. The link for this will be linked in the description below, so make sure you guys check this one out as well. Let's say you've been through all this and your work is above the average standard and you want to get hired by some real games and studios on the platform. To do this is actually easier than you think. You simply find the game you would like to perhaps contribute to. We can actually go ahead and let's just go on charts to see what's popping up in here. Squid Game. Oh, what the hell? We got what? We got 2 Squid Games, 76k 92. Okay, let's say you just want to contribute to these for whatever reason. Just looking from the thumbnails, assuming this is their game, you can click, let's say you're a modeler and you want to contribute as a modeler. You can see their style, got a low poly looking tree, got some really basic looking map, got, yeah, it looks complete. Okay, yeah, you guys are, if you're any modeler, I think you need like maybe 3D's experience to be a modeler for this game, and it's automatically 1.5 billion visits, right? So let's say you can make assets in this style and you've got proper work to show in your portfolio. You just go ahead and join their Discord server and go ahead and DM their owner or game manager, whoever they usually have that's managing the developers. Now obviously this is where the competition factor comes in. There are multiple other developers that attempt to do the same thing. Pricing also comes into play over here. Game owners like hiring cheaper developers, so it really depends on your availability, your exposure, your skill level, and the speed you really deliver this stuff. So before you do any of this by just hopping onto different games and trying to DM the owner, really think to yourself, why would the game owner choose to hire you over someone else? If you believe that your quality is unmatched, work ethic is professional, and can deliver work faster than others, then by all means do try to DM them. As a game owner myself, I find it much easier for me when developers come to me with their offers instead of me having to like spend days DMing people to find the right person. But do keep your messages simple, short, informative, and professional. No one wants to read an entire yap session of you glazing yourself, nor do they want to see a message of you just saying hi and waiting for a reply, because you ain't not getting a reply, bro. And most importantly, do attach a couple pieces of your work and give them your available payment methods. You're basically just taking your work and throwing it straight into their face. Don't post a Discord server link, they're most likely not going to join that, right? Make it easy for them, and it's just going to be made a lot easier for you. After you've done all this, you got yourself some commissions and you're starting to get some money, you start getting a little too overconfident and you end up accepting commissions that you are not capable of doing. And this is point number 4. Only accept the commissions you are capable of doing. It gets extremely demotivating when you get offered a big commission but you are unable to do it because of a skill issue. People end up using AI models at times and it doesn't turn out so well for them. This is also one of the main reasons I recommend people to not open commissions early into their career, because they legit have no clue what they are doing. Modelers accept commissions, then they don't know how to like texture it, or don't know how to export it to Roblox. Animators decide to animate in Blender for a commission, then they don't know how to solve issues when it comes to importing into Roblox. This not only demotivates you, but also lowers your standards in front of other possible clients. If you are unable to do the commission, simply tell them that you cannot take it, or give it to a friend that you think would be able or interested of doing it. Creating a small group of friends is extremely helpful, since they not only help you learn, but you can also share commissions that they may not feel like doing. Doesn't matter how big the payment is, just don't get yourself scammed or don't get yourself put in a position where you end up scamming the person because you can't do the work. Now, when it comes to payment, I recommend taking half up front from clients and keep a deadline for yourself to finish it by. If the client doesn't give you a deadline, don't give them a deadline, because you're most likely not going to meet the deadline you give yourself. But at least you just have an end goal and a proper schedule for how you want to do this. I personally use Discord channels or even Notion to go ahead and like schedule your work in there to keep it visually clean for yourself to see. And when you get a lot of commissions, it just gets really hard to manage. That's why you don't really see me replying to any DMs, just because I got a couple commissions in there and they're already gone to the bottom and I can't find them anymore, right? So just keep a clean Discord server or channel. A lot of people use tickets, ticket system. There's a bot for that, or you could go ahead and use Notion or any other website or Google Docs to go ahead and organize your work in there. A list of tasks just to keep it visually easy to find. I really do not recommend taking 100% upfront, because majority of the time you don't feel motivated enough to work because you basically just got paid for free. And I find that majority of developers that do take 100% upfront just end up scamming, or they literally have to be threatened to work. And this perfectly brings us up to the final point, point number 5. Keep a clean reputation. If you are known for scamming, having a very immature behavior, or being toxic to clients and delaying tasks, then the news will eventually reach all ends of the platform, lowering your reputation and causing others to not want to hire you. Keep it professional and straightforward with clients. It does get hard at times when the client just calls your work trash and doesn't provide any feedback, but that's their problem, not yours. So don't make it your problem by causing drama like how all the other kids do on the platform. If you no longer want to work with the client, either refund them if they have paid you, can also ask for compensation for your time which they wasted, or just tell them to commission someone else if they haven't paid you. Ghosting clients is probably one of the biggest issues game owners run into. If you're too lazy to do the work, or just don't want to do the work at all, man up to it and just say it straight up to their face. It's a lot better than actually ghosting, because then they don't really have anything against you. Like, okay, you just don't want to do the model, right? But if you're ghosting, they're going to be there spam pinging you every single day. It's going to be a headache for you, headache for them, and it's going to be a headache for you in the future as well, because they're probably going to tell their friends to never commission you. All it takes is a single sentence saying you can't or won't to be able to complete the tasks that were given to you, and that's it. You can just ghost them after that. At least they were informed that you won't be continuing, so they can go ahead and look for someone else. With those 5 points out of the way, I'll shortly conclude with the pricing, because we did touch upon that and a lot of people do ask about pricing. I don't want to make a separate video on that, so I'll just squeeze it into this as well. Now, when it comes to pricing, a lot of well-known developers do overprice on Roblox simply because there are people that pay them those prices, but in no way should those be the standards you use to price your own work. You can look at developers around your skill level that are getting successful commissions and base your price around theirs. I don't recommend asking any random Roblox developing server because 99% of them have no clue what they are talking about. My server is linked in the description below, or you can simply type out discord.gg/pyrodev to get access to some of the most helpful resources and people out there. We've grown the server to over 4K people now, and there are some extremely talented and experienced developers that can advise you on your work and pricing. I tried making this video interesting. Hopefully you guys found this informative and helpful. Feel free to drop in your own tips and tricks in the comment section below. Share this to other developers that are trying to make the best out of 2025, and best of luck on your journey. Peace out.